I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Shocking news. Why is people covering for Jarvis Butts? The NAZIYAH case part 2. Salute to the chat. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to the replay gang. Let me get my copyright disclaimer out the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Now, I want to welcome everybody from the main channel over here to the backup channel. Now, we were going over why people believe that we are trying to cover for Jarvis, why we're trying to help Jarvis's defense team get Jarvis off. So we're just going to pick up where we left off. Now, I'm going to be going to the evangelist again. Also, I want to tap back into the preliminary hearing, Miss Annette as well as Shannon. I might go to Jarvis's sister, but a lot of people think that Jarvis unalive NAZIYAH. Okay. Now, over here, what we've been trying to do, we've been trying to stick as close to the facts as we can. All right. Every now and then, I'll allow, folks to reach a little bit. But for the most part, we like to stick with the facts. Right. Now, one piece of the evidence that I keep stressing is the evidence from the beginning that Jarvis and NAZIYAH was seen going into the hotel on January the 9th, the day that she was reported missing, right? However, there's no footage. There's no footage, y'all. So that was a crucial piece of the evidence, but it's not there, because if there was the footage that could say, okay, look, after 9 p.m., around 9 p.m., you and NAZIYAH went into this hotel. Okay, you came out. There's footage of you coming out. Where is NAZIYAH? King even stated that he left you around 8:45 on that evening, or between 8:45 and 9 o'clock, and NAZIYAH was with you. But when it comes to the video footage, we don't have any video footage. Now, in my opinion, I think that Miss Annette could possibly be trying to cover for Jarvis. That's what I believed in the very beginning, that she was trying to cover for Jarvis, because y'all remember this famous, give me a second. Y'all remember this, right? You see Miss Annette in the beginning. Now, Jarvis is sitting directly across from her, but she claimed that she didn't see him until she put her glasses on, right? So at first I was believing that she was covering for Jarvis, but now that I'm thinking that it's a strong possibility that NAZIYAH could be alive, maybe the reason why Miss Annette reported NAZIYAH as a runaway, maybe because that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Let me see what my chat's saying before I move on. I see you, Tootie. I see you, Candy. Didn't the law say Jarvis went to the motel with NAZIYAH? Facts. She couldn't see. She was faking Shank. There's footage in someone cloud. DPD ain't looking. Same way she said he haven't been up in her house like that. That's facts, Miss Fluffy. That's facts. I see your brother. I see you, Pebbles. So even her saying on the witness stand that, well, Jarvis don't even come in the house. When he comes, he'll pull up in the driveway, and then Shannon and the kids will go out. But we have a picture, thanks to evangelist. Thanks to the evangelist, we have that video of Jarvis being in that house. And like I said, Annette, she broke her neck to get to him. But let's get back to this preliminary, y'all. Let's tap back into this preliminary. Explain the glasses in the baby mother car. Well, so in my opinion, according to the evidence, in my opinion, NAZIYAH was with Jarvis on January the 9th. And I'm just going by the evidence, okay? Early in the morning, early that day, I believe NAZIYAH was texting Jarvis about, was they still going to meet up? Was he still going to, pick her up? All right. Now, another evidence puts Jarvis and NAZIYAH together that day was Jarvis' sister, who claimed when she was at the shop, she saw NAZIYAH. Also, King, as well as King's son, aunt, said that they came out there. So he definitely, according to the evidence, NAZIYAH definitely was with Jarvis on January 9th. Now, to explain the glasses being in the baby mother car, those glasses could have been in the car the previous day, the day before, and maybe they didn't pay it no mind. Maybe the baby mother didn't pay no mind. And then just maybe on that particular day, the son, was playing with the glasses. But then even still, I do believe that the glasses, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that the glasses was found after NAZIYAH was reported missing. Those are Bluetooth glasses. She could have put them there to frame him, in my opinion. And that's another point, Tootie. She could have put him there. I think they was planted because that pic of her waving and them is way too old of a pic. So when we look at all of this evidence, from the pictures, that picture of her waving bye-bye, even the clothing, the red, black, and white Nike shoes, just everything is suspect when it comes to the evidence. One thing that somebody pointed this out to me, where is NAZIYAH's backpack? The backpack was never found. There are a lot of things in the case that isn't there. Where's the phone? Nothing adds up. All that stuff was planted. And that's why it's one or the other. It's one or the other, y'all. I see you, Kimberly. It's one or the other. Either NAZIYAH is alive or either NAZIYAH is deceased. Now, if she's deceased, in my opinion, I think that they framed Jarvis. That's my opinion. If she's deceased, they framed Jarvis. If she's alive, I believe that Jarvis helped NAZIYAH run away. Did they say they were Bluetooth glasses? I never heard that. Kimberly says, I'm going to behave. I'm going to take your word, Kimberly. I'm going to take your word. I wonder why you ain't cut a fool yet, but I'm going to take your word, Kimberly. So it's just with the case, y'all. It's wide open. I have the same pad. This case is wide open, y'all. I think she gone and he helped after it was gone. They couldn't afford no smart glasses. Let's tap back into Miss Annette, y'all.
Maybe you could just stand up and take another look around.
Okay. Yes.
Do you see Mr. Butts in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you point to him and identify a piece of clothing that he's wearing?
Blue uniform with the blue mask.
For the record, the witness has identified Jarvis Butts, the defendant in this matter.
So reflected?
And may I approach the witness again, Judge?
Yes.
I'm approaching with what's already been admitted as People's 9. And Ms. Harris, do you recognize the person in that photo?
Yes.
And who is that person?
Jarvis Butts.
And is that the same person you've identified in court here today?
Yes.
And Ms. Harris, how did you know Mr. Butts back in January of 2024?
He's the father of my daughter's children.
And is that daughter Shannon Harris?
Yes.
Okay. How many kids do they have together?
5.
And would he come around your house on Bedford in January or the months leading up to January?
Whenever he did come, he would always pull up in a white truck, and Shannon would go out to the car and they would sit and talk or whatever, but he would very rarely come in my house.
And during that time when he would come around and sit in his car, was there any times that he would interact with NAZIYAH that you saw?
Not that I remember, no.
Okay.
So, she stated, of course, he would very seldom come in the house. But like I said, with that video of that party, he definitely was in the house. Now, she didn't say he don't never come in the house, but she did make reference to he very seldom comes in the house. Now, we know that Miss Annette and Jarvis, they were cool. They were on good terms. When I asked Marquita, when I interviewed Marquita, and I asked Marquita what was Miss Annette and Jarvis' relationship, she said, they was pretty cool. She said that Miss Annette got along with him. She gave him the benefit of the doubt and things of that nature. Now, here's the thing. We know that Shannon came in the house one day and Miss Annette and Jarvis was in the room and the door was locked. The door was shut and it was locked. It was said that Jarvis was in a painting. Now, in my opinion, I think that Jarvis and Miss Annette definitely had, some relations, had something going on. And it's allegedly, but I'm believing it because why would you be in the room with the door shut and it locked with Jarvis? Everybody knows Jarvis get down. Jarvis is a predator. He's a S predator, and that's his get down. And in my opinion, Jarvis ain't gonna be in no room with no female with the door shut and locked, and it ain't no physical relations going on. but that's just me. I think Annette covering for Jarvis. Big Mama says, Shank, you might be on to something.
I want to talk specifically about January 9th. You had described your morning routine with the kids. Did you follow that routine on January 9th?
Yes, I did.
And did that include dropping NAZIYAH off at J.E. Clark 7:15 to 7:30?
Yes.
And can you tell us what she was wearing on January 9th, 2024?
Yes, she was wearing a pair of light powdered blue jeans with a light powdered blue jacket that had the black little fur around the collar. It was like a two-piece set.
And did she have a sweater on or a shirt on or something?
She had a shirt. She wore a shirt underneath it.
And you remember, did she have any other clothes with her on the 9th when you dropped her off?
She had her little blue sweatshirt with the little hoodie. She had that with her.
And do you know how or when she got that hoodie?
I bought that hoodie for her. I guess it was in the fall sometime when I bought it. When I first, I mean, it wasn't nothing new. It was just one of her old hoodie jackets she used when she go to gym.
Okay. And in terms of, if you know, the condition of that hoodie on the 9th, was it torn, ripped, damaged in any way?
No,
Okay.
it was fairly, really, like, kind of like still new, because she took pretty good care of her things.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
May I approach you?
Yes.
I'm approaching with People's Proposed Exhibit 12. Ms. Harris, do you recognize what I just handed you?
Yes,
And is that a picture of NAZIYAH?
yes.
And do you know when that picture was taken?
The same day, January 9th, she took this picture.
Move to admit People's Proposed 12.
Any objection?
No objection.
It'll be admitted as People's Exhibit 12.
And could Jarvis be so calm and so quiet because he knows that he's going to beat this case? Because after all, Jarvis, in my opinion, Jarvis knows some things. And I think that the reason why Jarvis has been so quiet, I think because he know that they got him with the inappropriately touching. You know? And like I said, Jarvis is a convict. And one thing that I know about convicts, I've been around enough convicts to know. Convicts know when to hold them. Convicts know when to fold them. Now, like I said, in this situation, Jarvis knows they got me on the inappropriately touching, right? I know they don't got me on the red rum. And for those that don't know what red rum means, spell it backwards. And the reason why I use red rum is because YouTube is sensitive, and that word that's spelled backwards, red rum spelled backwards, YouTube will flag the content. So if you want to know what red rum means, it's, you know, the M word. But Jarvis knows like this, all right? Let's get in the mind of a convict, all right? They got me. I know they got me, all right? Now, they got 3 charges on me, right, when it comes to NAZIYAH, all right? This charge right here with the red rum, I ain't worrying about that because I know they don't got me with that. But they got me with the inappropriate touching of her. So I'm going to be locked up regardless. Now, the time that I'm locked up, it's going to work in my favor regardless of what, because it's counted as already time on whatever sentence they give me. Jarvis is not worried about that red rum because Jarvis knows he's going to beat that red rum. But Jarvis needs to really, really get the inside scoop, because NAZIYAH is the center of attention. Now, I know a lot of y'all get mad when we say Jarvis loved NAZIYAH, but the love that Jarvis had for NAZIYAH, Jarvis is crushed because Jarvis don't really know whether or not NAZIYAH is alive or if she's deceased. That phone conversation, he said, I don't know what Shannon got going on. So in his mind, he don't know what Shannon got going on. So he don't know where NAZIYAH could possibly be. But if we go back to them text messages, and before this demonstration is out, I'm going to get to them text messages. NAZIYAH was dependent on him. She was dependent on him for the monthly female necessity needs, right? What else she saying in text message? I want to live with you. I want to come live with you, right? What else she say? I ain't going to never get out of this hellhole, right? Now, Jarvis is a monster. We know he's a monster. However, it's different levels. It's different levels of a monster. You got some straight monsters that don't give a damn about you, me, and nobody else. You got some monsters that'll chop their own moms up. Right? But then you got some monsters that certain things they won't do. And we're going to get to the certain things that some monsters won't do. And this is why so many of us keep saying Jarvis would not physically hurt NAZIYAH. Go to the text messages. None of those text messages did Jarvis get loud with NAZIYAH. None of those text messages did Jarvis mention any violence towards NAZIYAH. Now the monsters that's just straight monsters, they would have went off on NAZIYAH in them text messages. Jarvis never used profanity. Jarvis never told NAZIYAH, I'ma, do this to you. I'ma do that to you. So we're dealing with a monster, but we're dealing with I'm looking for a perfect word. Y'all might have to help me out. We're dealing with a low-class monster is what I'm trying to say. And I know y'all gonna come for me. Shank, what you talking about? A monster is a monster. No. King Kong was a monster, right? But King Kong, he cared about the snow bunny. I'm just saying.
And when you dropped NAZIYAH off at J.E. Clark, what was the routine supposed to be after school was over?
Okay, well, school is over, the bell rings at 2:40. NAZIYAH was due to come home. And normally when the bell rings 2:40, 2:45, she's getting on the bus.
And was that's what she normally did on other days?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
And
yes.
what time would she normally arrive back at home?
The NAZIYAH would be walking in through the door maybe 3:05, no later than that.
And on January 9th, did she walk in at 3:05?
No, she did not.
And were you home when she didn't come home?
I was there for a little while, but I left out to run some errands. But no, when I got to the house, she was not there.
And at that time, did you have a conversation with someone else about her not coming home? NAZIYAH not coming home?
Yeah. When I picked my children up from the after school program, I went in and my daughter said,
Objection to what it covers that from the hearsay.
I'll rephrase the question.
Okay, sustain.
Just talking about what you saw and heard, and not asking for what anybody said, but did you talk to Shannon, your daughter?
yes,
about-
Shannon said she was not there.
When you got home that day on the 9th, was NAZIYAH there?
No.
And did you eventually make a police report about her missing?
Yes, I did. Yes,
And when did you do that?
that morning when I got to school, I went up and dropped the kids off to school. I talked with the dean and the principal, and I told them that I was on my way to the police station, and they told me that they would call the police, and the DPS police came there.
And you said DPS, is that Detroit Public Schools?
Yeah,
And did you talk to an officer at that time at the school?
yes, I did.
And was that at J.E. Clark physically at that location?
Yes,
And you said that morning, are you talking about the morning of the 10th?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Was NAZIYAH active on social media, if you know?
Well, as far as I know, she was. I mean, there were times that she was sneaking, go on it, you know. But yeah, she was.
Okay. And did you keep track of her social media pages like TikTok or Facebook or anything like that?
I tried. A lot of times, you know, I would take her phone and stuff from her, you know, so, you know, to keep her from being on there, you know.
And after the 9th, did you ever see any posts made by NAZIYAH?
I didn't see any posts. Most of the time, you know, if there was a post or something, or she posts, my daughter or someone would call me and tell me.
Have you ever heard, after the 9th, any communication or seen NAZIYAH? When
Now let me backtrack, y'all, because maybe I heard it wrong. Now he asked her, did she notice any posts or any, you know, things that NAZIYAH was doing on her social media after she was reported missing? But she said, no, she didn't notice it, but she said her daughters said that they noticed. Let me backtrack because I may have heard it wrong. Let me backtrack this, y'all. Let me backtrack. I don't want to twist no narrative and put nothing false out there, but let me backtrack.
I didn't see any posts. Most of the time, you know, if there was a post or something,
Let me see.
I tried. A lot of times, you know, I would take her phone and stuff from her, you know, so, you know, to keep her from being on there, you know.
And after the 9th, did you ever see any posts made by NAZIYAH?
Now he's asking her after the 9th, right? After the 9th, did you hear or see of any posts that NAZIYAH made? Now let's listen closely to Miss Annette, what she says.
And after the 9th, did you ever see any posts made by NAZIYAH?
I didn't see any posts. Most of the time,
And she says she didn't see any posts. And she's going to say most of the times. Now, y'all help me out. Do you think that she was making reference to before the 9th? Because he's asking her about after the 9th. I could be reaching. And if I'm reaching, somebody let me know that I'm reaching. But the question to her was the post after the 9th. Most of the time, for cases like this, I so wish MI could try this as Capital Red Rum, but with all these characters, you best believe Kim Worthless and the prosecutor's office wouldn't know what the heck to do. Sorry. But she wanted to say no, but my daughters did. Okay, gathered some peeps to help me look. misunderstood. She speaks, they stupid when she talks. Let me come back, y'all.
Ninth, did you ever see any posts made by NAZIYAH?
I didn't see any posts. Most of the time, you know, if there was a post or something, or she posts, my daughter or someone would call me and tell me.
Now, she didn't say before. I don't know, y'all. This is suspect. She caught herself instead. That's a good funky ass catch, Shank Rock. You know what? I'm gonna let you slide. I'm gonna let you slide, Kimley, because you waited 30 minutes to start acting up. So I'm gonna let you slide. But see, I kept, and when I catch these little things, it stands out to me. He's asking her about after the 9th. She is answering. She never says when she would post before the 9th. My daughters would say something. I'm just saying. I do have a goal, 15 super chats or super stickers. If you would like to help me reach my goal, just click on the $ symbol and purchase a super sticker or a super chat. Those that are catching this on the replay, gang, you also could help with the super stickers and super chats. Just click on the $ symbol. Everybody is trying their hardest to distance themselves from the whole situation. Call me and tell me that's FE1. However, she also said she had only one tablet and she bought it. So didn't she have one from school as well? Facts. That's facts. Facts. Plus the phone. I gotta hear this again, y'all. And then we gonna move on. But I gotta hear it again, y'all.
And after the 9th, did you ever see any posts made by NAZIYAH?
I didn't see any posts. Most of the time, you know, if there was a post or something, or she posts, my daughter or someone would call me and tell me.
Have you ever heard after the 9th, heard any communication or seen NAZIYAH?
Mm-mm.
And we gotta remember, coming from the evangelist, what did the evangelist say? The evangelist said that Annette told him that NAZIYAH called Vari after she was reported missing. The evangelist said that. Miss Annette told him NAZIYAH called Vari after she was reported missing. I just feel like they all playing in our faces. The family, DPD, the school system, CPS, everybody, they all failed NAZIYAH. Now they trying to cover their ass. Everyone's so smug when it comes to NAZIYAH. My mother would be a mess over my kids. Facts. The judge writing. Right. I thought so. I kept thinking about that. There's so many conflicted states they made. I see you misunderstood. Watch her face, Shank. I'm watching. I see you, a justice. A justice, the judge know what it is. After the 9th, nobody spoke with her but Vari. She burns my you know what. I just pray that they court it all and bring it up in the trial. See, family is funky and suspect. And the tablet made at home, Shannon had it. I don't trust none of them. Yes, he did say that. Yep, that's what he said. I was on that live. Right, because she still had her phone. Every time she lied, she gonna frown the forehead. Exactly. Statements. Evangelist did say that.
And is that a no?
No.
And when you dropped her off on the 9th at school at J.E. Clark, was that the last time you saw her?
Yes.
May I have a moment, Trish?
Yes.
Just to follow up, I did forget to ask this. Her bus stop, how far from your house was that in walking distance?
5 minutes.
And do you know where the location that she got dropped off at was, the address or the intersection?
Right there at a 3 Mile Drive in Cornwall.
And that's 5 minutes from your house?
Yeah.
And did NAZIYAH have any nicknames that people called her?
Where her family called her Tuda, but I've always called her Glamorous. I've been calling her ever since she was born.
Is it Glamour?
Glamorous.
Oh. We have one more objection.
Yes. You said Tuda?
Tuda.
Tuda.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing further questions.
Okay. Ross?
Let's go to Shannon, y'all. Let's go to Shannon for a few minutes. Then we're going to backtrack to the evangelist.
Have a seat.
I was speaking to this mic.
Yes, 2.
What are their names?
Kenyatta Harris and Marquita Harris.
Are they older, younger, something else?
Oh, there. Marquita is a twin. She's my twin, same age.
And Kenyatta's older?
Yes,
Do you have any nieces or nephews?
yes,
Do you know someone named NAZIYAH Harris?
yes.
What's your relationship to her?
My relationship to her, she is my niece. I'm her aunt.
Okay. And whose daughter is she?
My older sister is Kenyatta Harris.
And did you have any nicknames for NAZIYAH?
Yes, we all call her Tuda.
And is that Tuda?
Yes,
And did NAZIYAH ever know Jarvis through you?
yes.
And when did NAZIYAH and Jarvis first meet?
She was a little, like age 2.
And can you kind of describe the relationship between NAZIYAH and Jarvis?
Should be just the uncle and the niece relationship, no more than that.
All right. Now remember that, y'all, because we're going to fast forward. Now, we all know what she's going to say later on in this preliminary hearing. She's going to get into these explicit text messages coming from Tudor and Jarvis. But right here should have been no more than an uncle and niece relationship. So once again, when we're talking about who all had the motives to harm NAZIYAH, remember in part 1 of this, lady motive would have been the debt that she owed the drug dealers, right? Now, Shannon's motive could have been jealousy. Let's fast forward it to these messages, explicit messages that the majority of us feel like NAZIYAH didn't send all these messages.
Okay. And
And if she's going to read from the text message.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
And just for record references, I'm showing her what's going to be proposed, People's Exhibit 48. Ms. Harris, those text messages that you just referenced, do you see those on this page?
Yes,
Okay. And so it's fair to say you stated to Mr. Butts, well, first of all, whose phone number is this at the top?
The phone number is my old telephone number.
Okay, and who is the phone number below that?
Jarvis Butts.
Okay. And is this, I guess, do these fairly and accurately represent these two messages? 3, 4, 5, 6 messages sent between you and Mr. Butts on January 9th, 2024 to January 11th, 2024.
The first page is, yes, it's correct. Second page is correct. Yes,
Okay. And so on January 9th, like you had indicated before, you had stated that you told him that there was still no ton-up.
correct,
Okay. And you said he responded, oh, wow.
correct.
Okay. And on January 11th, was NAZIYAH still missing?
Yes,
Okay. And did you ask Mr. Butts to do something?
At this point, I just asked that if she's going to read from the text message, just omit the exhibit.
I
You have
can.
an issue with moving to admit?
No, Judge.
Okay.
Do these fairly and accurately represent text messages between you and your phone to Jarvis and his phone between, well, they start back earlier, some from December 3rd, 2023 through January 21st of 2024? These fairly and accurately represent text messages between
Yes.
you and your phone to Mr. Butts and his phone?
yes,
Okay. Your Honor, I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 48.
Okay, then be admitted.
Thank you, Judge. So on January 11th, did you ask Mr. Butts to do something?
yes.
And what is it that you asked him to do?
I asked him, can he share the missing flyer on his Facebook page?
Okay. And did you send him a copy of that missing flyer?
Yes,
Okay. And to backtrack just a little bit, on December 3rd, 2023, do you recall sending messages asking Mr. Butts if he needed NAZIYAH for anything?
yes, I do remember.
Okay. So do you remember this text on the first page of People's Exhibit 48?
Yes, I do remember this message.
Okay. And did you send that message?
Yes.
Okay. And what did the message say?
Tuda said, do you still need her too?
Okay. And do you know what is that referring to?
It was, Tuda had asked me to contact Jarvis and see if he still needed them to clean up.
Okay. And that would be to clean up his shop?
Yes,
Okay. And to fast forward, on January 21st of 2024, you sent some messages to Mr. Butts. Is that fair to say?
yes.
Okay. And can you read these last 3 messages?
These last 3 messages is, to be honest, these messages I seen into the inbox to you, I really don't know what to believe anymore. Stay away, Ramon, I mean it. The next message is, I don't know what to say, or Tuda is on. Since this shit doesn't sit right with me, call it what you want. I'm good, period. It says, this for life. Nigga, I thought about it, and you can pass it.
But once again, remember in the very beginning when she was asked what was the relationship between NAZIYAH and Jarvis, she said should have been no more than an uncle and niece. Why not answer it for what it was? Hey, look, it should have been an uncle and niece relationship. However, Jarvis was inappropriately touching NAZIYAH. I just wanted to make note of that because I still have some people that still question me about that on the replay gang. Not those in the chat, but I still had people on the replay gang that question what would Shannon's motive been. Jealousy. We're going to move on to the evangelist in a few more minutes, y'all.
And don't call me, no need to explain shit. I already see it.
Okay, so you were referencing some messages that you saw in Tada's inbox.
Correct.
Tell me, how did you see some messages? Well, first of all, where these messages, where were they at?
The day of Officer Gardner came to pick up NAZIYAH's tablet. My mom asked me to put it on the charger. I put it on the charger. Officer Gardner, after that, Officer Gardner called and said she's on her way.
Hearsay. Without saying what.
Okay, I'm sorry. The officer had called and said that they was on their way to come
Still
pick up
hearsay.
the tablet.
Okay,
Okay, so,
sustained as far as hearsay.
yes, thank you, Judge. Okay, continue.
So before the tablet was picked up, I looked inside to this tablet. She has 2 passwords that I normally know. So one of them is referenced for her brother's birthday, and the other one is referenced from my password. So I put the first password in, it didn't work. So I put the second password in. So the first thing I went to was Instagram, which I was scrolling. And I seen Jarvis Butts' Instagram page. I clicked on his page and I seen 2 messages.
Okay, and what were the messages that you saw? Who were they between, first of all?
NAZIYAH, my niece, and Jarvis.
Okay, and what were the messages that you seen?
It was roughly 2 messages that I have seen that I can recall. States.
I'm gonna object to this as hearsay. They have not been admitted, and the messages themselves would be the evidence.
Were the messages of a sexual nature?
No.
Okay, and you said you saw 2 messages.
Yes.
Okay, did you see anything else?
It was two sent pictures, but you can't really make anything out. It wasn't nothing there, but the picture was sent.
Okay. What did seeing those messages, what did they cause you to do?
Well, when I seen no messages, I called him
Who's
and Jarvis Butts.
Okay.
Called him while he was at work, asked him, what is these messages I seen between you and my niece? And he said, what messages? Said it's 2 particular messages that states out and there's a picture. And he stated that, I don't know, these messages, I told him what the messages were, and he said it was probably our children was messaging him. And I stated no, because I know how our children will text.
Okay. And reading those messages, is that what caused you to text
Mr. Butts, yes.
Mr. Butts, in that you've seen the messages in the inbox and you don't really know what to believe anymore?
Correct.
Shannon's motive was definitely jealousy. And everybody can see that. Everybody can see that Shannon's motive is jealousy. And it was there. It was there.
So, Shannon, I want to take you back to January 9th. Were you home that day?
Yes.
Okay. And did you see NAZIYAH that day?
My senior did that morning, correct.
Okay. And do you remember what she was wearing at all?
Her coat and her uniform at the time, she had on some blue jeans. I don't really recall the outfit. I just know the coat she had on.
What was the coat that she had on?
She had on, it was a 90s coat with all the characters on it.
Okay. And
So I believe Miss Annette's description and Shannon's description of the coat she was wearing was wrong.
you recall seeing her wearing that the morning of January 9th?
Correct.
And Your Honor, may I approach people's already admitted exhibit 2?
Yes.
I'm going to show you people's exhibit 2. Can you tell me, do you recognize a coat in this photo?
Yes.
And whose coat do you recognize that to be?
NAZIYAH's.
Okay. Now, after you, when you saw NAZIYAH that morning, what did you do the rest of the morning?
Nothing. I was at home with my mom and my 2 children.
And do you ever leave the house at any point that day?
No. I was at the house the whole entire day.
And do you know what time NAZIYAH would normally get home from school?
On certain days, she will stay for after school, and then on certain days she will come home. The days she will stay for after school is 6, and the days that she don't is at 3.
Okay. And on January 9th, do you know if NAZIYAH had the after-school program?
Yes. At that time, my mom took her out of the after-school program, so she will come home directly at 3 o'clock.
Okay. And were you home at 3 o'clock?
Yes.
And did you see NAZIYAH come home?
No.
Okay. And did you see her come home at all the rest of the night?
No.
How did you get her tablet? How did you get her tablet? I think we all want to know that, Shannon. How did you get her tablet? Shank, yep, it was 2 different descriptions. To me, Shannon got all and every reason. They never have the same description of the outfit or shoes. Carla Henry, exactly. Shannon was definitely jealous. After watching Toot's video, I feel like it's a 50-50 chance of her running away or red rum. And that's where I'm at. I have never seen a school uniform with jeans. Carla Henry, I have nothing but nieces, and I would be jealous of any of them. So if she had on blue jeans, where are those clothes? Are we to believe Jarvis had her panties and sneakers onesies? Come on, make it make sense. That's facts. Passion, my kids can't wear jeans. It's khakis or their skirts. I didn't know jeans was uniform either. Keep his ass in jail and question the family to have them placed in this trafficking. Here comes another lie. Shannon fed NAZIYAH to Jarvis also, just like Annette did. If she did run away, I don't think Miss Annette would have even cared one way or the other. When she went through the phone, she went searching, particularly for messages between Jarvis and NAZIYAH. That's facts. Being jealous of a kid is weird, but NAZIYAH was pregnant. That's a whole different level of jealousy. I ain't gonna lie, when Booger Wolf got caught in her lies, I felt that the prosecutor should have pressed her more, but I had to remember this is the preliminary, and I had faith that they'll detail her trial. I think Shannon was touching NAZIYAH as well. I see you, LaTanya. I see you, Paris. A little bit more from Shannon, and then we're going to go to the evangelist.
Did you leave at any point after 3 o'clock?
No.
Okay. Did you, yes, when NAZIYAH didn't come home, did that cause you to experience or feel any type of way?
It did. When she didn't come home is when my mom went to go pick up the other 2 children from the after school program. They knocked on the door and they had asked a question and said,
Objection, sounds like hearsay.
What's that? You have a response or?
A question isn't hearsay, technically.
I think she said.
It's just a question.
I'm
Yes.
just getting ready to say a question. Okay,
What was the question? What was the question?
the 2 children had asked me, Mom said, did
That's the hearsay.
NAZIYAH come home?
The hearsay is mom said.
Okay, so were you asked directly whether NAZIYAH came home?
So my mom was still in the car. I was inside the house. They was coming to the house, walking up to the door. When I opened the door, they asked me, Mom said, did NAZIYAH come home? I said, no.
And was NAZIYAH home at all?
No.
Okay. And did you do any sort of looking for NAZIYAH that night?
Yes.
What did you do?
I called my twin sister. I called some of her friends that I know that stays close by. If they had seen NAZIYAH, heard from NAZIYAH and everything. And when I reached out to my sister, she said no. Her friend said no. So after that, I asked my mom, did she want me to call the police? She said no, she will take it up in the morning.
What made Annette want to take it up in the morning? We're going to fast forward to the evangelist. Let's take a 45-second break, y'all, while I load the evangelist back up. Take a 45-second break, y'all.
The government take a picture.
All right, y'all. Let me put the evangelist back up. Shout out to Miss Parker. Talk with Prince and the Riders. Let's tap back into the evangelist for a few. I see you, Lady V.
It'll last longer. And no, I'm not going to divulge that information. I'm not going to give that information right now. I'm not going to do that.
Let me backtrack.
This is not why we're here.
Let me backtrack a little bit.
Take a picture, it'll last longer. And no, I'm not going to divulge that information. So I think he needs to cool it. Let's go back for him. Let's go back to talking about Sesame Street and lookalikes. I think that'll be a safe conversation for him.
Oh,
You need to leave this.
So Mark D needs to go back to talking about Sesame Street and yeah.
And likes. And leave this situation alone. Because he has no grounds or premise to shake his finger of scrutiny at nobody with what we know about him. Just let it go. And yes, I'm saved. I love the Lord. But let me tell you that a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up. So I'm that B, capitalized, that will tell the story if he don't cool it. So he needs to go. Let it go. Let it go like Bishop Bonner let his hair go in the 80s. Let it go. Put some ice on it.
I think Mark B, I think he was talking about
take a picture, it'll last longer.
The evangelist, y'all. Because why is the evangelist?
No, I'm not going to divulge that information.
Why is the evangelist mad at Mark
I'm
B?
not going to give that information right now. I'm not going to do that. Because this is not why we're here. We're here to talk about NAZIYAH Harris. We're here to talk about the Harris family and the do's and do nots and what could and couldn't happen. We're not here for other than that.
So we was talking about the t-shirts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And the role that Roxy played in this with Lady.
First of all, let me compliment you as the host of this platform. You're doing a marvelous job to keep things forward, and I don't find myself a spinning wheel in this.
And let me just say this now. And remember, y'all, when the evangelist goes live, he's always talking about how the podcast, and this is the podcast he's talking about, Miss Parker. So how did you go from complimenting Miss Parker? You gave Miss Parker her honors. Now you're talking about, when you went on the podcast, everything got misconstrued. Your words got taken out of content. How? All Miss Parker does is react to this interview. Same way what I'm doing. I'm reacting to your interview. I'm reacting to what you said. And that's all Miss Parker done. So how is it that you're giving Miss Parker her flowers? See, we got to be mindful and we got to remember the things that we say. That's why I was always told, don't tell a lie. Because when you tell one lie, you got to come with another lie. I see you talk with Prince. Shout out to Talk with Prince. Excellent interview you and Miss Parker done. He even said it. See, your words, Kenneth, your words.
So I want to comment on that. Your ability is going to go from here. It's going to hit the stars. I look forward to seeing you on national TV one day, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I know her. I was one of the people on her platform."
Thank you.
And that's going to happen. I truly believe that. I truly feel that in my heart.
Thank
now,
you.
going to your question, the T-shirts and stuff. As we know that the police had informed everyone to kind of cool it on these shirts and these pendants and buttons and stuff like that because it was causing a problem with the investigation, okay? And I can somewhat grab the understanding of that. But what was happening is that them two were both capitalizing financially on this. And it was no more about NAZIYAH, but it was about the money that could be made on her through this situation.
And let me just say this. Here we go again, Kenneth. You're quick to call out Roxy and others, but you said it yourself. When you went to Cincinnati, am I lying or am I telling the truth, y'all? When you went to Cincinnati, you put Detroit behind you. You no longer cared about NAZIYAH Harris or Vari. Now, the same thing that you're saying Roxy and others have done, you have done the same thing, Kenneth. But he wouldn't show us the message she sent him on live. I get he never sent it to you, Shank. He never sent it to me because it probably has something to do with his guilt too. That's facts. He never sent it to me, right, George? He is. So if he knows something much, why not go to DPD? Facts. That's what he said, laughing out loud. This guy makes my head hurt. Man. I'm going to the corner, evangelist talk and riddle and protect his part of pervert. Now watch in a couple more days, he gonna come out and try to deflect everything. But your words, evangelist, not Shank's words, not Miss Parker's words, not Talk with Prince, and not nobody else, your words. Passion B, I wonder if NAZIYAH always rode the bus back home and Annette picked up everyone else. That is curious to me. That's a good point, Lady V. Good question. He's a whole lot of something. Exactly. Because his ass would be locked up. Simply retarded. Yes.
It was not about, oh, we miss NAZIYAH, or we want her to come back home. This was about how much money can be made, you know. And it wasn't even to help the family out. It was for personal usage. And that's why there's an investigation with them to have to give that money back that they rose on that GoFundMe page, because it was done with fraudulent intention.
And Talk with Prince, you want to collaborate on that one about the t-shirts? What was happening with Lady?
So basically, you said, basically with what was going on, this was it's like a drug holiday for Lady. Long as they keep feeding her drugs, she's gonna be numb.
Yeah.
They silence her. And basically, to your knowledge, just allegedly still going on. They're just feeding her drugs so she can be numb and not know exactly what's going on, have a voice in this whole tragedy concerning her daughter. So they can capitalize on and get paid off of baby girl's name.
If I can alter that just a little bit, say that the lady is doing more feeding herself drugs than anybody else is feeding her. But in the sense of both parties needing money, and we both knew that they need money too. They're capitalizing off of NAZIYAH's unfortunate fame by those t-shirts. It's not about, oh, I miss NAZIYAH, or I want her to come back, or I'm earnestly, authentically trying to find her. It's more of a get. Even NAZIYAH's father, he never came around to none of her recitals. He never came around to anything, any achievement that young girl has ever had.
But see, out of respect for NAZIYAH's father, may his soul rest in peace, Mark D and them reached out to him for the interview. So it's not like the father just came around trying to cash in. Plus the father had, I believe, open heart surgery. So I doubt if the father was trying to cash in. My thing with the evangelist is the only one that's sincere. The evangelist is the only one that's pure and holy and sanctified. The evangelist is the only one that cared about NAZIYAH, right? That's the perception that he's trying to give us. That's exactly what people do when they don't want an addict to talk. I wonder that too, because I remember Annette said she would pick up her kids and NAZIYAH would catch the bus. Isn't he doing the same though? Facts. Man, say this was so crazy. He said all that to say the same thing. I asked him, facts, Talk with Prince. I wonder if he's scared to go back to Detroit. I was over him at that point, Shank. I feel you. Everybody stopped talking about the evangelist. I mean, all the content creators, we all stopped. And then now he's back. Yes, people went looking for the dad. I think they tried to make it seem like NAZIYAH was riding the bus because of leaving the after school program. She's on the stand contradicting herself. She can't keep the lies straight.
Made in school because he was too afraid of his wife finding out. He never co-signed or really cared about that girl. All that fake stuff he was doing on the news, you know what? That's why God don't like ugly. That's why he ain't here no more. Because all that stuff was a bunch of baloney.
See what I'm saying? Now, that wasn't right to say, y'all. That wasn't right to say. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But in my opinion, that wasn't the right thing to say, evangelist. And you supposed to be the man. You supposed to be a man of God. You don't mock nobody's death. You don't, in my opinion, that's disrespecting the dead. And that's just my opinion, y'all. Right, Shank? Then here come Kenneth. That's why I know he gonna pop out again. No, he didn't. Oh, no, out of line. I see you, Miss Parker. He liked to talk. He stayed there for years. You like it could be somebody that I have an issue with. And when they pass away, I don't. May that person's soul rest in peace. You don't say nothing like that, Kenneth. Come on, man. Like her. At least he was showing emotion. Nobody else sure as hell wasn't. Piece of you know what. Come on, Kenneth, man. You was out of line with that, man.
I ain't my baloney since I walked in the store and looked at Walmart selection. He ain't about that girl, because if he did, he would have came around. All those times I was over there, because when I came over there, Annette treated me like the rest of the family. Wash the dishes, mop the floor, vacuum the floor, clean the table off, wash clothes, all that kind of stuff. And all that time I was over there, I never seen him come over there and say, "Oh, NAZIYAH, do you need a bike? Oh, NAZIYAH, what are you doing at school? How's your grades?" He never did any of that.
And I gotta stop you again, Kenneth. But what about you? Your own words. You contacted the bank to get the policy situated for where, as though if something was to happen to you, Vari and NAZIYAH would be taken care of. But then whatever situation that you had, whatever falling outs that you had with Miss Annette or Shannon and them, you turned your back on Vari and NAZIYAH. With everything that you knew was going on, why you didn't take all that information to the Detroit Police Department? With all the things that you knew what was going on, why you turned your back on NAZIYAH and Vari? You turned your back on NAZIYAH and Vari, Kenneth. So how can you come for NAZIYAH's father? How can you come for anybody when you turned your back on NAZIYAH and Vari? Come on, Kenneth.
He never did any of that. Talk about, I miss my daughter. If you missed her, you should have spent time with her. You had all these years to spend time with her. You didn't spend no time with your daughter because you so worried about that you went out there and messed up and it was going to slap you in the face. He never spent any time.
And so NAZIYAH is basically, you felt she's in Detroit. They're moving her around. Am I correct? I don't want to say it wrong.
Correct. Because I don't believe that Annette knows. I don't believe she knows anything about it.
And you said Jarvis is the fall guy.
He's just the fall guy. He's just the fall guy.
So this is the evangelist.
See, people don't want to acknowledge that these kids nowadays are not as dumb as they think they are. These kids are very intelligent. These kids is working laptops, computers, knowing how to network and everything else.
So do you think he's the fall guy? I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Yes.
Is it because he has a record?
Yes. I don't believe it. Like I said, again, I was just getting ready to say, I don't believe his house is clean. I don't believe he's whistle clean. But I know he ain't got nothing to do with this. I don't believe it. I believe he's just the fall guy. NAZIYAH did what NAZIYAH Harris wanted to do. And she's doing what she wants to do even now. Do I condone it? No, I do not condone such behavior. I do not condone.
Okay. What do we mean by that? She's doing what she wants to do. Now, this is the evangelist. I don't condone it. What exactly is NAZIYAH Harris doing that you don't condone? This ain't Miss Parker's words. This ain't Talk with Prince words. This ain't Shankrock's words. This is not the chats. This is your words. You said that NAZIYAH is doing what NAZIYAH wants to do. You then said you don't condone it. What are you talking about? We're going to go back to the evangelist video from the other day I know y'all gonna get y'all roast on. I gotta find me some shades to put on because I Miss Parker in the chat too. Lord have mercy. But we're gonna go back to his video. But what are you talking about, evangelist?
But everybody has to learn their lessons. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to hit your head against the wall before you realize that you didn't screwed up.
Now, I want everybody, after this demonstration, I want y'all to go to Miss Parker's and check out the complete interview. All right? Make sure everybody go and check out Miss Parker's complete interview with the evangelist. All right, now let's go back to his video from the other day.
So, and I heard them say, I can't stand the way we're being treated here. They were all gathering around the kitchen sink because I know that's where the kitchen sink was. And they said, I can't wait. Did you hear? They're talking to the children.
I like
crazy.
I like when he said that. He got mad at us. He got mad at us. He said, did you hear anything that I said? Let me backtrack this fool, man. Let me backtrack him, y'all. Lord have mercy, y'all. Go easy on him, y'all. Here it come. Here they come, y'all. Go easy on them. Woo. Lord have mercy, man.
I was out in the car now. By this time, I was talking to somebody else, right? And so we were on the phone, me and this potential boyfriend. We were on the phone and we were talking. And as soon as we got off the phone with each other, I heard a conversation and I got real still in that van. I got really still. So, and I heard them say, I can't stand the way we're being treated here. They were all gathering around the kitchen sink because I know that's where the kitchen sink was. And they said, I can't wait. Did you hear anything I just said? The whoopings and the talking to the children crazy. And so they were talking about, we can't stand the way we're being treated. I can't wait till I grow up. I'm going to leave here. Nah. They was going through this whole thing. And everything that they said and how they were going to leave, it has happened. I don't know why y'all can't see that. Everything that those children said has happened.
He's speaking on NAZIYAH and Vari, y'all. Dang, now I have to take another bath. Shaking my head, he big mad. Ew, my body just shook. Big worm, man. Oh my God, the roaches, man. I see you take it to trial. Lord have mercy. The black Michelin tire man. Hell no, sir. Them bugs on us. LOL shit. Woo, woo. Are those boyfriends all that desperate to touch Sasquatch? He looks like Yogi Bear. Oh, man. I had to do it. Shank, I just took a shower now. I'm going to have to take another one. He heard the conversation in the kitchen from his van outside. There ain't no bugs on me. There may be bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. I see JoJo. Lord have mercy. Why did I do this? He needs antibacterial soap and a loofah. I just got up and started spraying Lysol. Lord have mercy. He paying, that's why he broke. Passion B, I guess he had the windows down on his van because I'm not filing. Allegedly, he had the windows down on his van, and he's going to discuss it. Yogi looks better than that. I see Chandra. I sprayed Ray. So basically, he's saying that he was in the van, and their window was up, and he overheard them making reference to running away, making reference to leaving. This is coming from the evangelist, y'all. So when people talk about why are we covering for Jarvis, I mean, it's a no-brainer. We're not covering for Jarvis. It's just the evidence towards Jarvis is not concrete. Shank hit my hot shot. So, but just listen to the evangelist. He the windows down because he can't stand the smell himself.
And no, I don't believe Jarvis. I didn't know Jarvis like that. But I don't believe he had anything to do with it. I'm not saying his nose is clean. I'm not saying he's no prayer book. But what I am saying is I do not believe that he is the reason why those children are gone.
And this is the evangelist once again. He don't believe that Jarvis is the reason. He don't believe that. And he look, he got the inside track. He got the inside scoop. He was there. He was there. So, but once again, if you haven't heard Mark D's 40-year CPS, please check out Mark D's 40-year CPS. And everything that the evangelist is coming with, well, not everything, but most of the things that the evangelist is coming from, it was already said on Mark D. Miss Parker says, now my head itching. He looked like we stank.
I do not believe it. They were all at the table. I mean, all at the kitchen sink. And they all sat there and talked about how they wanted to leave. And everything that was said happened. Every single thing that they said has come to pass. The answer has been staring y'all in the face for the longest. So, catch this, just in case, because y'all didn't catch it the first time. NAZIYAH.
Y'all listening? Now, what he's about to say now is real crucial, y'all. He said it. Are y'all listening? Y'all didn't catch it the first time. All right? I gotta stay away from the chat, y'all. I see y'all, but I can't read these comments out. Y'all, I gotta stay. Wow, it's more and more. I bet his drawers are so stiff that they can stand up and walk on their own. I gotta come out of the comments, y'all. I got to. But listen to him now.
Let
me backtrack.
The whoopings and the talking to the children crazy. And so they were talking about, we can't stand the way we're being treated. I can't wait till I grow up. I'm going to leave here. They was going through this whole thing. And everything that they said and how they were going to leave, it has happened. I don't know why y'all can't see that. Everything that those children said has happened. And no, I don't believe Jarvis. I didn't know Jarvis like that. But I don't believe he had anything to do with it. I'm not saying his nose is clean. I'm not saying he's no prayer book. But what I am saying is I do not believe that he is the reason why those children are gone. I do not believe it. They were all at the table. I mean, all at the kitchen sink. And they all sat there and talked about how they want to leave. And everything that was said happened. Every single thing that they said has come to pass. The answer has been staring y'all in the face for the longest. So, catch this, just in case because y'all didn't catch it the first time. NAZIYAH so-called comes up missing. About a week later, Tavarius has gotten the girl pregnant, quote unquote. So, most brothers, now I didn't have no siblings like that, and the ones that I do have, they grown and doing their own thing, but they're not from my mother. This was through my father's other relation. But most brothers, if they have a relationship with their sibling, a close connection, right? They ain't sitting there chilling on Facebook talking about when y'all coming over to party, nah. If they felt that they sibling, now they might fight and carry on, but they on Facebook, they saying something, they posted something. Because if one of my friends, and I don't even have no blood brothers, but and really nobody close around me right now, but if I had a friend that I cared about and they were really lost and they were really gone, oh, listen, I would be on every social media site, on the news. I would be all over the internet. Where's my family at? Where's my friend at? But you ain't see none of that. You ain't see none of that. Nope. See, and I'm not talking about nobody. What I am saying is there's an order of how life works. That's what I'm saying. There is an order how life works that has been around here before I was born and gonna be here after I'm gone on.
And y'all know what? As funny as he is, and as much as he keeps us laughing, he's telling us something. The evangelist is telling us something. Now, I know many is not going to believe him. I know many of y'all are sick of his funky ass. But he's telling us something. He's definitely telling us something.
So you can't tell me that NAZIYAH is gone. You can't tell me that because I'm not going to believe it.
I see you, Ronnie. I see you, Ronnie.
I know you would, because I would too. Because he knows where his sister is at. I don't care what he said. Excuse me. I don't care what he said. I know he knows where his sister's at. Now, I don't know where she's at, but I know he knows where she's at. And I'm going to tell you something else. I know she's alive. I know that Listen, I'm too old to be mind screwed, and there ain't enough people to do it.
According to the evangelist, he knows that she's alive. How did this case go from a reported runaway to an unaliving? Who made that conclusion? Well, if we go back, y'all, if we backtrack, Lady V, and this is something out of all the times that I came for Miss Annette, out of all of the above, everything that I accused Miss Annette of, it always stuck to me. Maybe NAZIYAH did run away, right? Let me get Kenneth down because he got me laughing. So let me just take him down and I'll come back to Kenneth. But let's look at the beginning of everything. Miss Annette reported it as a runaway, right? Now, in that picture, you see NAZIYAH waving bye-bye. I believe that when NAZIYAH got off the bus or either sometime at school, I can't remember, but I do remember NAZIYAH telling people, y'all not going to see me no more. This is going to be y'all last day seeing me. That morning of January the 9th, NAZIYAH was texting Jarvis about, is you still coming to get me? Is you still going to meet me, I believe. Now, maybe it was a runaway at first. And maybe that's why Miss Annette waited for the next day, because she wanted to give NAZIYAH some time. I'm just saying. Now, and usually, you know, when I'll give people the benefit of the doubt, but like I said, with this situation, I believe that it did start out as a runaway. Even the 30 days time lapse before Detroit Police Department got involved. It could have been the reason why, because they thought that she really ran away because they didn't do nothing to her. Her interview suggested it was a runaway. So who concluded it was unaliving? Was it the Detroit Police Department? Yes. Once the DPD got involved, once Detroit Police Department got involved in the investigation, give me a second, y'all. And then, you know, the evidence started to come forward. That's when Kim Worthy, that's when the state of Michigan deemed it, the prosecutors deemed it as an unaliving. And that's why when it comes to the evidence, that's why the evidence is so upside down. Salute, Ms. Parker.
Okay, so if y'all go back through the transcripts, so Mark D mentioned it first on the first live. If y'all go and hear the very first one, the 40 years of CPS, he had mentioned it, and I was wondering where did Mark D ever get it from, because we just now started to get the transcripts just a couple months ago. So I never knew where Mark D got that from, and I said it must be the family members telling him something. Because remember, Mark D said somebody in the home was giving him information. If y'all go back and listen, he never said Janelle or Kiwana, which Janelle did start eventually sharing information with Mark D when he got the case really going, which would be like the second or third episode. If you go back in the transcripts and go back to the preliminary when they asked Detective Shannon, the defense said, did you tell Shannon that this is a homicide? She said, I don't think I used those words, but
yeah, that's true.
We only went off what the school said. Yeah. So I said, well, how can you go off what the school said when at the end of the day, y'all didn't start anything. Cause she said it would take a while to determine that. If y'all go back and listen, she said it would take a while to determine that. So I said, but if y'all go back and think about it, y'all just got the case and you interviewed Shannon in February. So where did you come up with the determination of that? Because y'all hadn't even found the clothes until a month after that.
That's facts.
Which was March. So how could y'all determine without a body and without clothes at that time? So if y'all go back and read them transcripts, that's why I said reading them will make you say, what are y'all hiding?
That's facts.
What is Kim Worthy and them really hiding? Because again, she said out of her own mouth, well, we just can't determine that it was a homicide because we hadn't did an investigation, and it takes a while to do an investigation.
It's facts.
So why did you tell Shannon that, even based off of what the school said? Because at the end of the day, y'all hadn't had no facts. The only thing they had was a tablet, allegedly. They hadn't had text messages because they didn't have the technology or nothing to get those messages from the, you know what I'm saying? Nobody
Facts.
knew that NAZIYAH was even missing.
That's facts.
You hear what I'm saying? To pull text messages, to pull anything other than what they seen in the tablet. Now, what they seen in the tablet wasn't what the Detroit Police Department took from the phone. So where did y'all get it again for them to say somebody said something to the mall cops, which would be Annette, because she's the only one giving them information.
Facts.
So why would Annette say that? Who did Wolf say he talked to? The grandmother. He didn't say Shannon. He said the grandmother. So for them, again, just because a child ain't been on social media doesn't mean at that point in time when the mall cops had it that she had been unalived.
Facts.
I'm just saying. Because again, they never had a piece of clothing. What was y'all going off of? Because she hadn't said nothing in the 30 days that y'all had it. Why did Detective Green, and Roy Jewel brought this to my attention, why did Detective Green go on a Sunday to retrieve a tablet on a Sunday? Go back to the transcripts and said he went on the 21st for him. Okay? What made you go on a Sunday to get a tablet?
That's why the transcripts is very important. It's black and white. It's in black. It ain't no hearsay. He say, she say. It's in black and white. Finish cooking, Miss Parker.
But that's when you go into questioning Kim Worthless again. Because Kim Worthless comes back after the preliminary and says they know for a fact that Jarvis Butts is the father. But at the same time, we heard all these months later in the defense say they don't have nothing. They have nothing. If y'all read what Tone put on his channel, I'm just throwing it out there. If y'all read the conference, Shank, they have been asking for the paperwork since March. They said it at January. Then they said, we'll get it to you. And then in March, the same judge said, he said that should be nothing because how technology is like, basically it'll just come to them. Well, guess what? We all the way in August. And that's why when you go back and look at when the judge said, y'all ain't got what? He said, why they ain't got this information?
That motion.
You get what I'm saying? Come on.
A motion to discover. That's what I was just talking about. They don't got the evidence.
Shank, when Alicia and M. Gray did some research, because it was just something that kind of, we always was digging into the family to see what was going on. But I kind of moved away from that because I was like, it's a connection with somebody. And as much as everybody might not want to leave, oh, it's conspiracy theories. Somebody's connected to somebody, whether we want to believe it or not. Because when you look at this case, it's so in shambles. When you read the transcript, it's like this is a dream. Like this ain't even. You don't even think it's for real after reading it versus listening to it. It's from us, her, and Shannon and Annette tell two different stories, and nothing happens. The judge cooks their ass, shank like spoiled meat. She cooks them like spoiled meat and calls out the negligence and so much more. And says she knows that they knew. She said, in my mind, I think y'all knew. Y'all showed no emotions. Nobody's pointing Jarvis out. Nobody's acting like they see him. Shannon's mad that she even got to point him out. Jason Mays don't know nothing. He don't recall. George Harris don't know if they checked the lock or checked the school. They went to the bus stop when, guess what? I asked the principal, do y'all got cameras around the school? He said, yes. Why y'all go to the bus versus showing a video of her to the mall cops? Y'all work for the school. So why not show a picture of her getting on the bus so we can validate that, okay, that is the 9th.
Facts.
We got Lisa Johnson, a detective, saying, hey, he checked out of the hotel on the 9th. See, what happened at the preliminary got a stick at the trial. Y'all can't go back now and say, oh, okay, we're going to do more. Yeah, that was supposed to done that before y'all had a year. It was January. It was a year. It was a year from the date exact that they started it. Where the 10th coming in at? Because that would have been on the 10th, right? Everything should have been happening on the 10th, the next day when she never showed back up. But ain't nothing coming up for nothing. Everything, he checked out the hotel on the 9th. They said it didn't. Detective Shannon says Jarvis didn't go to Ypsilanti for nothing, but Tashiana's testified that she did take Jarvis to court. Wait a minute, which one is it? They tested the shoes, nothing came up on the shoes, but then she turned around and said, we didn't test the shoes because Vari said, why is Vari saying anything versus the person that had custody of her? Why are y'all going to Vari about some shoes when he didn't even live there?
Facts.
Appreciate
this super chat, Quetta. Go ahead, Ms. Parker. That's facts.
I'm just being honest. Let's just be honest about everything that's being said. Did y'all check the shoes? Then y'all saying, oh, well, two unknown hypotheses. People always saying, oh, y'all coming up with conspiracy theories. No, this is what they said. They got people reading the hypothesis verse. Where's the lady that took the swabs? And also, how can we use that clothing when you got Vari, Mark D, and Roxy allegedly found the clothes. Now this Vari's friend found the shoes. Kenya said on TikTok that Roxy poured out a bag of shoes and boom, it was the clothing that was allegedly supposed to be NAZIYAH's. Hell, I'm still looking for the blue shit. What we doing, Shank?
That's facts, Ms. Parker.
I mean, I can keep going, but for what? Because to me, it's sad. I'm sick of even rambling my brain on it and just really, y'all, I'm waiting on trial because I've never seen a case so complicated. Like, y'all had, I found the shoes, but nobody told me to bag it up. So I took the pictures and I left them. What? This is the Border Patrol. I mean, you got evidence that you was sent out to look for that specific thing, but who ever said she had on a pink onesie? I'm still waiting to hear who said that.
Nobody.
Nobody. Everybody said I seen in a pink onesie. I never said she never wore a pink onesie. Was that picture when y'all seen on the pink onesie? Was that the 9th? What day was on it when y'all seen in the pink onesie? Does anybody still have that picture? I'd like to see the date on it. Because nobody testified, and not even Tijuana never said she had on a pink onesie. Everybody keeps talking about the character jacket and powdered blue and red and blue, green, blue, green, whatever the color is. It's too many colors for me. It's only now we had a pink.
Facts.
So, and then we got Kim Worthy with this scare tactic. Pay attention, Shane. Have y'all ever heard that Billy and Tommy robbed the house and they found that Tommy watched while Billy went in and they're going to charge Tommy down the line? Why not charge Tommy along with Billy?
That's Facts.
If he watched the house, why are we waiting for people that could have potentially unalived? Per you guys, this is per Detective Shannon. Them, they're calling it a homicide. Then they even called it a cold case fail. What's a cold case is a closed case. Let me get off of them for a second. But we got all these colors. Detective Shannon called it a cold case. We got Maggie saying Margaret saying she went on the 14th and took pictures of the clothes. But hell, I thought Detective Shannon said after the Border Patrol went on the 12th, the next day, Vari's friend found the shoes and Vari verified they was her shoes, and they went and collected and wasn't collecting everything because it was too much out there. What? Because see, I think they could have collected the blue stuff. Where's the blue stuff? Where's her backpack? It's a whole lot of missing pieces to this baby. And Kim Worthless comes with the scare tactic when it comes to 13-year-old missing NAZIYAH Harris. You know, the games they play, the games that they're playing with this child's case is diabolical. Yeah, and we know that some people, and we'll charge them down the road. Why are they allowed to walk in amongst the neighborhoods? There are these communities where it's other children and things. You know, ain't they capable? Couldn't it be they could be capable of doing this again? Helping someone else commit the same kind of crime? Shank, I'm just saying, I don't want nobody to help anybody do anything like this. I don't care if it was just her missing and not unalived. I don't want anybody in the community to be able to be free until down the line. Hell, what if the case y'all know how easy it is for Jarvis's defense to get any little bit of paperwork or anything late and not be able to talk to specific people and say, hey, we need more time. We into next year. We got the holidays coming up, y'all. Y'all know courts don't work on holidays, you know. They really don't do court on Fridays. Typically Tuesdays and Thursdays.
It's not a solid case. When it comes to the red rum, it's not a solid case. I keep comparing it to the baby oil man, the P. Diddy case. You know, the RICO. They got P. Diddy on the domestic violence. Without a shadow of doubt, they got him on the domestic violence. They got Jarvis on the inappropriate touching, but they didn't have P. Diddy on the racketeering. All they did was talked about freak offs. Now, when it comes to the Jarvis, all they talk about is substantial evidence that they don't even have. They don't even got the evidence that they saying that they got. They didn't even give the motion of discovery. And y'all know what's going to happen if they don't give the motion of discovery. Jarvis walks free. Even if they give him the motion to discovery and they find him guilty on the red rum, because it took them so long to get it to him, that's a grounds for them to file for an appeal. I put some money on Jarvis going to walk on that red rum.
Can I answer a couple questions, Shane?
Come on.
Passion B said, did she ever have a lock at school? She did have a lock at school. That's why I say read your transcripts. Go back to George Harris. That's in George Harris's transcripts when they said, did y'all check her lock? Did she have a locker? Did y'all check it? He said, I don't think we did. I don't remember. You get what I'm saying? Everything y'all asking is there. Lady V said, she said, wait, so the pink onesie was left for Vari's friend to find in photo? That is strange. Lady V, go back to the transcripts and go back to that video. I got the video. I might play it, Shane, where Vari's friend found the shoes. And don't forget that the Border Patrol, if y'all go back to Wyatt Barnes, I be reading them too much, Shank. I gotta stop reading them transcripts like I do. Go back to Wyatt Barnes, the Border Patrol agent, when he said he took the shoe out of the onesie. It was stuffed in, like the shoe was stuffed in the onesie.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, did you put it in a bag or anything? He said, no, because the only thing I was told was look for specific clothing, take pictures, send the pictures in, and that was it. Don't forget, the next day, remember, Vari and them had already called, and Mark did. I go back to Mark D's live. He said he told the police, come here. They found some clothes and shoes.
Mm.
They said the police said they was coming and never did. Even if they did dump out clothes, look at clothes, touch clothes, it's contaminated.
Mm-hmm.
Once the friend called Vari and told Vari it was the shoes, Detective Shannon said Vari called her and told her that those was NAZIYAH's shoes out there. So she said she called the Border Patrol agent and got the coordinates of where he left the shoes in the pink onesie.
Mm.
Pay attention. Where he left the onesie and the shoes. Once Vari verified, called Detective Shannon and said, that's my sister's shoes. She went and called the Border Patrol agent, followed the coordinates where he said the shoes and the clothes was. She said they went out there and got them the next day, which was the day when Vari called and said it's his sister's shoe. But then that would have been on the 13th, correct? Because the Border Patrol agent, per the transcript, say the 3rd, he went on the 12th. If she went the next day, that would make it the 13th. So how the hell did Margaret Shane go on the 14th, take pictures of the pink onesie and bag it? Wait a minute. Why did Shannon say she bagged it, but she didn't take everything because it was too many clothes out there? Which one, again, is it? Which one is it? Is all I'm asking.
That's facts.
If I was on the jury, I would have to be honest because Jarvis is a monster. Nobody wants him off. But I want the proper people for the M charge to all be. I don't care if Jarvis was the fall guy. I don't care if he participated. Anybody that participated knew, go to jail. Directly to jail. If they don't do this the right way, all the M's, which is murders, is gonna walk shame. Period. Point blank.
That's fact. I said it. That's facts.
Not just Jarvis, but Annette and Shannon. Only justice we're gonna get for NAZIYAH is the essay. So they better come hard and not be corrupt with this information. Cause I'm gonna tell y'all this. Everybody always, Miss Parker knows. Miss Parker. Y'all know why? Who are we talking about again, Shank? It's Detroit. When y'all want to know people talking, it's Detroit. That's what they do. That's why this case is so messed up. Even when y'all feel like Roxy got inside information, why y'all think the case is so messed up? It's too many leaks. I know people want to help and stuff, and they have helped me through this case. But it's leaks. And when you get leaks, guess what you get? Mess ups, F-ups.
Yeah.
It's a lot of corruption up there, y'all. Even when they was telling me some stuff about up there, there was a lot of corruption in this case. I'm just going to be honest. And that's why I try to tell y'all, people are connected to people. I put a thing in the chat yesterday. I found it. Can I read it, Shane?
Go ahead.
So it's a 17. I think she's 17. And I sent it to the moderators. I always try to send the mods. I meant to send it to the members, but I sent it to the moderators so they could see, because I never showed it because her name was on it. And at that time, I wanted to keep her protected. You know what I'm saying? Because every time somebody in Detroit gives me information, the only thing I ever heard is that they're dangerous. The Harrises, not Frank and them, minus Frank from what he got going on with Jarvis and King. Right? And she said that Shannon was with Jarvis and NAZIYAH the night she went missing. She gave her mother's name, her full name, and say, if y'all don't hear from me at the trial or whatever she was saying, here's my mother's name, here's my name, give it to the government. I only want justice for my cousin. They moved to New York, she said, and this is a very dangerous family. And I'm glad I could share my story. She was supposed to win on Mark D's. I don't remember that. A few months ago, after that teacher allegedly spoke, the lunch lady spoke on Mark D's. The little girl was supposed to came and talked, and she never did. They took it off the internet because it had her information on there. But she told what she could. And she said Shannon them knew NAZIYAH was pregnant. Come on, it ain't hard to. We knew. We don't even know her. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me Shannon and Annette is walking free right now, and you are the lead prosecutor? You're going to come and tell the world, we know for a fact the Jarvis Butts is the father of NAZIYAH Harris's baby.
Because
And y'all got text where all this was happening in the home. So that means that Annette was negligence to this 13-year-old minor who was 11 at the time he started touching her. Let's start there, Shane.
even the judge came for Annette and Shannon, but not Kim Worthy.
Mm-hmm. 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 So the little girl said they are a very dangerous family. She said, that's why I'm glad I got to tell my story. She put it on the internet. She didn't, for whatever reason, she didn't go to Mark D. I don't know what happened. But I got the screenshot. I was trying to find her. I was trying to find her. But you know, God got everything in design for this case for a reason and stuff. And one thing I want y'all to keep in mind, karma is real. And she is showing off with all of them. Any of them. And Shank, and it ain't no dig when I say this. No dig, because I don't wish bad on nobody. I see where Roxy got in a wreck. Somebody hit her with a car. I see Shannon's in jail. Uncle Daddy's in jail. Dre went to jail. Marquita lost her job faking the fun. Shannon's in jail. What is happening? What that's called is karma. And I ain't saying that Roxy had anything to do with NAZIYAH because I don't know these people. But I will say karma's real. Come on, Lady V. Hey, stay with me right there.
Appreciate your
Come
super
on.
chat, Lady V. How would Vari know those particular shoes belong to his sister? They certainly make more than one pair.
Come on, Lady V. Go back and read them transcripts and what the woman said. But I said, like me and Virgil said, why did they ask Vari and didn't ask Annette, who's the guardian? Make it make sense, Shay. Make it make sense. Even if NAZIYAH had on the pink onesie that they're so worried about, just the pink onesie, where's her blue clothes? Why not look for the blue stuff too? Because y'all want us to look at this bus picture so much. She didn't have on red and black Nike. So what's the point of the picture if we're not looking for those items? If we're not looking for the items that her mother and her daughter alleged she had on, if we're not looking for the plaid jacket that the teacher, because you know, even the judge had to look at the teacher, go back in your transcripts, and she said, what kind of coat did you say again? The teacher said a plaid coat. The judge stopped and asked, what kind? Not the attorney, the judge. Wait, what kind of coat did you say she had on? The teacher said a plaid coat.
Stacks.
Lady V, read the transcripts, honey. They said they did, but she turned around and said she turned around and said they did in the closing arguments on the night. Go back and read. That's why I said the best is last. After you really read the transcript, Shane, it's like you can't read the book backwards or you're not going to get it. When you go to the end, which is the closing argument, Shannon reading the text messages and stuff, Detective Shannon. She said, well, we didn't have to test the shoes for DNA or anything because Vari said they was his sisters. I was like, wait a minute. Even if Vari said they was NAZIYAH's, you have to test them shoes. Are you okay? But see, I digress, Shane, because again, What's done in the dark will always come to the light. To me, somebody knows somebody. And that's just my thoughts, and I got that right to have my thoughts on this. It's a joke. It's a joke. Whether they was just trying to establish Jarvis, hell, we know he messed with her per the text. They didn't need all that. I don't know. I don't recall. Hell, what did y'all have them looking, doing anything for if it was going to be, I don't know. I don't recall. No, I didn't check. You didn't write down nothing. No. Did you talk to anybody? 2 kids. What they say? I didn't write nothing down. What's their names? I didn't write nothing down. So hell, how do we even know who to go look for now? Because he didn't write anything down. That could have been a big piece. Her friend. Who's her friend? Because he didn't write nothing down. Who don't take notes? I don't care if it's your last day, you still had an obligation and a job to do. Because if you wasn't going to do anything, you shouldn't even have came to work and clocked in.
Mm-hmm. It's facts.
Everybody's got different stories. It's daylight, it's dark, it rained, it snowed, it's cold, it's not cold. Well, which one is it? Talacia said it was daylight because her sister get off at 5:45. How's that possible? When they don't have Jarvis and shit. Tijuana said she came up to the shop at 4 o'clock and left at 6:30. The opinion says 3:45 to 5:19. Big difference. They said Jarvis then was in Ypsilanti at 7:30. How when the 7:30 when King said they was still in there after 7 working on the transmission at 7:32 per his testimony. Shank, which is it?
It's facts.
How everybody got different testimonies, even the people that ain't got nothing to do with it. Why is everybody's testimony different? King and Jarvis was together. Theirs is totally opposite. Shannon and Annette, totally opposite. Annette said she dropped her off at school, but guess what? Shannon said she was the last one to see her. How? If Annette dropped her off at school, Annette sees her walking in the school. That means she dropped NAZIYAH off at the school. She's the last one to see her. If you drop me off at work, that doesn't mean somebody in this house seen me last. You did because you dropped me off at work.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, it goes to the clothes changing. They can't tell me that. Then all of a sudden in that week, Shannon says that NAZIYAH allegedly asked for the address. In the same week, she goes missing to Lucretia's address. When you go in the transcript, look at Lucretia's address. They say, Shannon, do you have any significance to this address? No, but I did pick Jarvis over there one time. That's significance. Is we gonna let these people play dumb? Is we gonna let these people get away with this, Shank? Like, seriously?
It's facts, Miss Parker.
I'm just asking. If I say I picked Shank, like Shank Rock was on Martin Luther King and Broadway, and they asked me before I say I picked you up from there, do you know have any significance to that? No, I don't know nothing about over there. But I did pick Shank Rock up over there. That's significance.
Right.
That means that he's somewhere in that area. He's frequented. But hey, how to get away with murder is like, when I go watch that show, it makes sense. Just a lot of corruption, a lot of liars and stuff. And I want to hear that. Because Shannon said NAZIYAH texted her from school. So I need to hear that come out in a text that prior to the 9th, because she said it was that same week. You didn't say the 9th, honey. You said the same week. I want to hear that text come up since it was brought up at the preliminary about Otter Drive, Lucretia's address. It's a specific things I want to hear at the trial that y'all have to bring up at that trial because it was said. I want to see where NAZIYAH wanted to run away with Jarvis so bad, and they was treating her so bad that she called an ex. What you and Nana doing? I doubt. I highly doubt we're gonna hear that text message. Okay. She want to get the fuck away. I mean, let me excuse my language, Shane, but I'm getting upset. She wants to get away from y'all so bad on the 9th, but she's texting you. What you and Nana doing? Hell, she don't even plan on coming back to there, so I know she ain't got no significance into talking to Shannon or Kern about what Annette had going on. Because per the evangelist, they've been talking about running away for years. Who's Kern about their abusers? Because Annette, she didn't know at that time that what Jarvis was doing was abusing her. She definitely knew that Shannon and Annette was abusing her mentally, physically, and some more stuff. Per the marks on her and stuff. The mark on her forehead, they got a TikTok of NAZIYAH prior to that day. Where did that mark come from? Like, come on, Annette, y'all, quit it. Why all the pictures we have of NAZIYAH, why y'all showing the one at the school? Why did Shannon put on the 11th instead of the 10th, you guys? Go look at the date. She didn't come home on the 10th. She didn't come home on the 9th. Why did you wait to the 11th when the buzzard bitch goes and files at the courtroom? She didn't get to go downtown to say my grandbaby's missing. Can somebody help me? But she goes and reports a fight of 2024 to the people. They knocked it out, guys. You know why? Because the little girl was in jail. See, when you file something, it had to happen at that time. Okay? I can't go say that you hit me, Shank, 4 months later. Okay? It's not happening.
Uh-huh.
And the little girl was in jail at the time. You guys, she was in juvenile detention. So they kicked that charge out. Is anybody investigating why did a grandmother that loves her granddaughter so much, which we know she didn't, but you know, come and file charges on the 11th? Why did Shannon post her on the 11th and say, hey, call Detroit Police Department if you've seen her? How is anybody calling the police when they was never even mentioned? That y'all didn't call the police. Stop it. And you said if anybody called Tasha, you said, what we say, Shane? You said if anybody called down there, they wouldn't know who to look for because they don't even know she's missing. Correct.
Yeah. It's facts.
Virgil said, salute Shank and Miss Parker. She said, late coming in. She said, King did say they didn't get done till 7:30 with the Jag, but they were pinged right outside of Ypsilanti at 7:22. Come on, Shank. I can't. I you know, it's sad. It makes it sadder. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I've read them transcripts so much, except for the pinging. Because even when y'all go read the pinging part, first they said he was over Angels from 7:42 to 7:58. Then they changed it to 8 o'clock. You can't round up time in somebody's disappearance and alleged homicide. Everything is precise timing. If you drop me off at 7:16, Shank, they gotta say 7:16. Oh, we're gonna round it off to the nearest 100. We'll say 7:20. No, that's not how that works. And then they had him at the hotel at 9:30, but per the pinging,
Uh-huh.
when y'all go to the closing arguments, pay attention to the timing. How y'all got him there at 9:30 when y'all said at the pinging that it's a whole hour missing from 8 o'clock from 7:58 until 10:53? Y'all said he didn't come up to the Park Motel till 7:52 or 7:53. How the hell now y'all got 9:30? Make it make sense. But you guys go read it. That's why I gave them out for people to read for themselves. It's not me making shit up. I'm not conspiracy. I'm reading what they said. That's all I'm saying. What they said. And I'm paying attention very closely to the times. Wait a minute, hold up. Y'all, hey, what y'all got going on up there in Detroit? Because it ain't even have to be this. It didn't have to be like this.
No, it really didn't.
But hey, we want a quick trial. We want to 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks. When we 2 months out of it and the people just now getting the discovery, are y'all okay? See, this is when I need Detroit to step up. Because we can fight with them, but we can't fight for somewhere we don't live as much as they can. And we're just saying, don't forget the tablet she alleged had been missing since the night. Nobody had went to the DPD, but the tablet was picked up on a Sunday without a warrant for seizing the tablet. Come on, Shane. That can be debunked. That can be thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
First, they didn't. Go back to the 13-year-old girl. When this happened was 10 years ago. Not saying that victims come out and tell immediately. Some don't. They carry it to their grave. But y'all don't think the defense is going to fight on, is this, everybody hates him? Because we see the pattern. All you women loved him. Y'all loved him enough to when the CPS worker knocked on your door, Tiger, you still allowed him around. Angel, he ain't touched my kids, is what she said to the CPS worker. So, and you still allowed him to be around. This was 10 years ago, guys. Pay attention. Somebody try to wake up. Y'all went and talked to these people, but y'all didn't subpoena them for this trial. But that's where he was. And this is NAZIYAH. We got Tashiana, Lucretia. Where's Angel? When y'all got him pinged her and had for a fact him going in her house. She's letting him get her a vehicle, right? Or is he giving the vehicle back? You know what I'm saying? Because Lucretia said they exchanged vehicles, but she had to wait on him to bring the car back. So whose vehicle did he give to Lucretia? How did he? Come on, Shane. How far is she from Angels? Yeah. She said, "Why is it just coming on me?" But Jarvis, go back, Shane, to when he talked to the detectives. Virgil said Jarvis was about to give a description of her with 2 braided puffs, and he said the last time he saw her was weeks before they said she went missing. And he said she was getting her hair done in the basement. I digress, Shank. Mm-hmm.
I mean, any last words before we get out of here, Miss Parker?
Justice for NAZIYAH and all the victims of Jarvis Butts. Shame on Kim Worthy. Shame on people that y'all dedicate these, when y'all do this line of work, it's called justice. And it's to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? It makes people not trust in the law. I don't lost faith in the whole justice system. I don't want Jarvis just to go down for the essays. I want him to go down for the murder, but do it the right way. And there's nothing wrong with us looking on from the outside, but we're looking at what you guys are saying in this bull crap. And for Kim Worthless to be an advocate of RAPE victims and other things, and to be supposed to be a stand-up Black woman who's for some reason the only one on the ballot. So people said, don't y'all find that strange? She's the only one on the ballot for the past 10, 15 years. That's strange.
Something ain't right. Something ain't right.
Because they said that Detroit wants to be just a Democratic state. Now, we can talk about Republicans. I can get political, but I'm not going in tonight, Shane. Because maybe y'all do need a Republican to come up here and fix the city from all these kidnappings and all this stuff that's happening. And everybody keep on saying, well, it happens in every city. Yeah, but y'all right now are flaming up. Y'all flaming up pretty bad when it comes to the children. The home of the pimps, where the pimps have parties and have police security outside making sure nobody come. Do y'all know what pimps are? Y'all think pimps just pick okay, we only doing 21 and up. I digress, Shane, and I'm getting out of here with that note.
Appreciate you, Miss Parker. Appreciate this super sticker, TT. As always, Miss Parker always cooks. She always brings that fire. Now we got to backtrack again. We got to get back to those transcripts. So I'll see everybody back tomorrow, and we're going to chop it up about the transcripts, all right? I'm not sure what time tomorrow. Maybe a little earlier because tomorrow is Sunday. But I'll let everybody know on the main channel what time we'll be over here on the backup channel tomorrow. But we're going to tap into the transcripts. All right. Salute everybody. I will leave the chat running and you all can hang around. Salute everybody.
But here's the thing I do know. He knows where she's at. Because the slip of the tongue from Annette herself is that she told me that NAZIYAH had reached out to him even after she had supposedly came up missing. She had reached out to him and called him. And then she took the phone away from him, which was kind of a stupid idea. But she took the phone away from him. But I'm pretty sure that ain't the only number he had. And I'm pretty sure that ain't the only way of contact. Because you know kids know about phones. These children were born in the era of phones. Oh, take the phone. It ain't like I can't go and do because the phones that they had was what through the numbers they had was through what's it called text now. He knows exactly where his sister's at. Now they can act like they on the short bus. The one that say slow children on board. But I'm not on that short bus. He knows where his sister's at. And Jarvis is being used as a scapegoat. Now, I'm not saying that I'm on his side.